found a way to pull it all together, address these issues, but at the same time, you didn't come back from the background. You just do your own research. You go down these rabbit holes, and then you start seeing real stories helping people. Has there been a story particularly, and I know like you got bajillion stories, right? Anyone that's successful building online courses and communities, stories sell, baby. Stories tell, right? If people see a great story they relate to, they're like, oh, if she can do it, I can do it. But has there been any like particular situations that just kind of maybe early on in your career that you heard that just really struck a chord with you?
I used to say that we would get messages every day from women that our work was changing their lives. And then I used to say every hour. Now it's every 10 minutes. My favorite, I was able to leave my abusive partner because I have an emergency fund and I have my own money and I'm able to leave. I was able to negotiate $25,000 more for my next job. I have actually, a lot of my clients have turned into friends. I have a friend who lives in Seattle. We got her, oh my gosh, I'm trying to remember. It was a couple years ago, $50,000 more in her next job. I quit my job and I'm able to run my business full time. I got out of debt. I paid off all my student debt. You know, I could send my kids to summer camp and not worry about how I was going to pay for it. Like, the stories we get are just amazing. My favorite though are when women realize that this is so much bigger than just money. Like we were talking about earlier, that it's not just you being able to pay off your debt or being able to invest. It's the realization that, oh, now that I have money, my entire life is opened up to me. And for me personally, like I can see this in my own life. I don't put up with any bullshit anymore. I don't put up with bullshit from a client. I don't put up with bullshit from men I'm dating. I don't put up with bullshit at all because I don't have to. Financially, I don't have to. I don't have to find a partner in order for them to support me financially. That's not part of it. And if you go on a date with me and you're intimidated, that is your problem.
What are your thoughts then, like given that your opinion and just societal norms of how typical dates go today, like how do you think, what do you think it should be? Should it be 50-50? Like in terms of paying a check, imagine you just go on a first date.
We went
like,
on a hard pivot.
Yeah.
I think that's a personal choice. I 100% think that's a personal choice. I'm not coming in, just like I get asked a lot, like, okay, I'm getting married. Like, should we combine our finances? I don't know. That's a personal choice. I think you should always have your own separate money. I 100% believe that. Even if it's just 3 months, you should always have your own separate money.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, for me,
yeah, I don't know if that was like a hard pivot too. It was, but
it's a little bit of a hard pivot. But
yeah,
I think it depends on the individual. It depends on the couple. It depends on, like, especially when you're first getting to know somebody, sometimes those conversations can be a little hard. Right. Like I find it typical, at least for me, it's like, oh, one of us pays for dinner. And then if we like go to drinks before or like ice cream after, like the other person will pay for that. Right. And then maybe the flip happens on the next date. Right. Like that's pretty standard for me personally.
But the big theme though is that by both parties having money, it makes sure that people are there for the right reasons, which is, you know, enjoying each other's time, happiness, right? Like,
well, and for me, more of what I was talking to about my experience and my journey was more like, again, with you asked about like the impact our work has had on women is the realization that like you don't have to stay in toxic situations that you don't want to be in anymore. So if a client starts, you know, being really difficult to communicate with, or, you know, doesn't treat us really well or my team really well, there is no client that I'm not willing to fire, right? Because we have other sources of income. We have other ways to make sure that I can make payroll for my employees, right? So it's the same thing, like I said, with my personal life of, you know, I am not dating in order to find somebody who I need to either teach me about money or to manage money or to make money for us. I'm good. I want to walk into a relationship and you know, not have to worry about that for me. Right. And it's just in general, like I just walk down the street more confident. I just it's so cool that I can pack up all my stuff and fly to Europe on my own dime and run my business from a Airbnb in Tuscany with probably a glass of wine in my hand and, you know, pay for a dinner and buy my best friend dinner without even thinking about it and donate. I literally like submitted this huge donation a couple days ago to a charity that I love, and I didn't even think twice about it. Didn't have to check my bank account even. I was like, cool, I know that I know this is going to clear. Like, let's do it.
That's amazing.
Like, I didn't have to think about it.
Congratulations.
So I think,
you did it.
Thank you.
That's
Thank
awesome.
you. But like, this is the feeling I want for every single fucking woman, right? That's the feeling I want. The feeling of, yeah, independence, not like fuck everybody, but like just knowing like you have.
Well, you probably get this a lot,
ability.
like, oh, well, listen, Tori, look at you. You can do it because you're so well spoken, and you like, I'm too shy, or I'm too this. Like, I'm not you. How can I do it? Like, what do you say to those
I often
women?
get actually, you're a white woman. You have a ton of privilege, which 100% valid. And I actually just talked about this a couple days ago on an Instagram live. Like that again, take a drink, take a shot. This is why we can't just talk about choices, because yes, I worked really, really hard. I'm also a cisgendered middle-class white woman. Like, I had a bunch of privilege. I had a bunch of privilege to get me to where I'm at. Did I work my ass off? 100%. But I didn't have to start at home base in order to run all the way around the bases. I started at like first base.